You're listening to The Fellas with Anthony McCoy,
Listen, man, that wasn't my fault. It was an unknown error.
Rich Thurston,
Someone said it was like the Bulls never changed their passwords, and Tibbs just popped in and did an auto trade.
Kev Lund,
We're out here doing this podcast, and these fools are out here blowing Super Bowls. Like, let's switch that up. Pay me a cool million, I'll call the right place. I promise you.
and Kyle Straub.
When one of those point guards is James Harden, yes, the answer is yes, they are a better team.
I don't really have an opening this week. I'm tired as hell. I was about to go to sleep, so thanks for joining again, guys. Sorry for the lackluster intro.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you got something else, I'll tell you what. Why don't you take a shot at it? I can just bring it off where we begin with you, Kev.
No, we can just keep going right from here.
Ah, you got something better. You want to say that I suck? Go ahead and do it
I
yourself.
called you a son of a bitch.
Equals you suck.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
If that's how you want to take it, good for you.
Tomato. All right, we'll just keep it going then.
Keep going.
We're actually going to pick up a conversation that we had started earlier today, and the news came out related to what we talked about last week with the NCAA investigations and what would start to change. The NBA may actually be doing something. Rich, you actually read this article. It was about the NBA and Adam Silver reaching out to high school kids and building the G League, essentially, is what I took away from it, correct?
Yeah, and it was like they're going to start reaching out to them and have more camps and more development programs for high schoolers. So instead of like AAU, it's going to be like NBA branded stuff. Well, that's what they want to do.
Did it say anything about the one and done rule? Like, would they still have to be a year removed from high
no,
school,
they
or
would-
could they go straight?
They would get rid of it. They could go right.
They would get rid of it
yeah.
then. All right. One, I think everybody agrees that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We talked about it. You want to see the G League and see kids actually develop there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The other issue, and this is where we had a little bit of divisiveness, is what does that mean for the NCAA? So, Rich, you read the article. Go ahead and give us your opinion.
That it would become even more trash than it already is, like the product on the floor, because all the top recruits and all the top talent wouldn't have to go to these schools and put on the charade of being amateurs for a year. So they would just be in the NBA or the G League.
I don't agree with that at all. But before I put my 2 cents in, Kev, Rich,
Rich already talked.
Kev McCoy, which way do you guys fall?
Well, I mean, you're going to drain already lackluster talent, and now you're going to take like what I said. The first round of the NBA draft is already going to be gone. So what do you got in college?
Exactly.
I mean, you're banking on your 3 and 4 year people to be stars instead of having these guys that are carrying the league right now. Like everybody wants to watch Duke for Bagley. I mean, you take Bagley off of Duke and they're just UNC, a bunch of 3-year, 4-year starters.
That's
And
not
those
true. They have
stars-
like 3 freshmen that are supposed to be lottery picks.
And they're not going to be there. As I said, the whole
Good.
first round of the draft will be in this other league.
I don't think it hurts
obviously-
college basketball. Like, I think it makes for like better teams. You know, like how many teams with all freshman talent are winning the tournament every year anyway? Like Duke
There are
did the
only
one
2.
year and Kentucky did the one year.
It's going to open
That's
it
it.
up for the Terriers,
And-
man.
And
Yeah.
those 2 years that those 2 teams did it, McCoy, there were also seniors and juniors mixed in. It wasn't just all the studs like the teams have now.
Butler's taking it home now. It's going to be all those teams.
No. So, all right, here's the point you guys
Tar
were missing in
Heels
the
every
Texas,
year.
I think, earlier. You just said that people will want to only want to watch Duke, and they want to watch him for Marvin Bagley. Before the one and done rule, who did people want to watch?
The
Not
high
Duke.
profile high school players.
Not all of them were going to high school or were going to college, though, Rich. Like we listed off the people before. You had your Kobe Bryants, your KGs, the guys who succeeded that we know about. There were 5 for every one of them that succeeded that failed.
It's not true.
Every year there was about 5 or 6 of them that were coming out and going into the NBA draft. There's not going to be room in the G League for them to take the entire first round of a draft out every year.
That's not true
What are
at
they
all,
going to
though.
do with them?
What do you mean?
Where are they going to
How
put
many
them?
teams are there going to be?
There's going to be 30
Well, even
teams.
so that's
And
one
how
extra
many
team.
rosters?
So that's one extra team. So right now, for the first couple of years, yes, they can take on a whole bunch of talent. But once those rosters are full,
Kyle,
how many
like
people are you
saying-
losing?
That's like saying you can't have an NBA or NFL draft every year because there's already people in the league.
No, but I'm not. But it's no, because
That's
it's
exactly
different
what
because
it
with the
is.
No, it's not. Hold on a second, Rich. Because with the NFL,
Yeah, Rich.
with the NFL,
Rick?
we're talking about people that you're drafting and you immediately are going to play. What we're talking about with college kids is kids that need to get developed. So you're going to lose somebody on your roster for somebody you're going to develop in the G
You're
League.
going to lose all these guys who are career G League players and like 34 years old, and you're going to replace them with 18, 19-year-olds
Yeah.
who you're going to want to develop. And they're going to be
Yeah.
Okay,
traded.
but where are all these?
They're going to
Where,
be traded.
hold on,
They're
where
going
are
to be
all
brought
these
up. They're going to be brought
34-year-olds
down.
coming from? If you're full of all of the kids year after year, if there are 20-something kids every single year coming out that are going straight to the G League, but you're drafting them,
What do you mean?
where are the rest of the kids going all these time?
Yeah, but you're taking.
Because you can only take those 20 to 30.
There's 30 teams with 15 roster spots, and you're taking the top elite of the top elite, Kyle. It's going to hurt the NCAA.
450 players, man.
But it's not going to be 450 players every year is what I'm getting at.
It doesn't
How?
have to
Why
be.
not?
Like,
Even if it
take
isn't,
the
though.
top
Like, even if
percentage
it's
of the elite,
200.
and then you fill out the roster.
It's not going to be even 200, not even going to be close to that. It's going to be 20 to 30 max.
I just don't understand how you just don't get that if every year the top 20 or 30 of the best players just aren't there, like, the product is going to
Because-
be not the same.
Because exactly what McCoy said.
Like, if I put
instead of no, because
100 Skittles
instead
in
of-
there, but they're only green ones, and there's a lot less red ones, and I take all the red ones out, that's one shitty ass bowl of Skittles unless you like green ones.
Well, except that you're
Like-
talking about an inanimate food object, and we're talking about a game of basketball that
We
people
can put
grow and
fucking
get better
crabs
at.
in there if
and
you
we're
want to.
talking about kids that are 18 to 21 years old. People develop and grow at different ages, especially in the sport of basketball.
Yeah.
So because the kids that are coming out of high school that have that freak athletic ability are gone right away, the other kids, that doesn't mean they're not going to develop into the GOAT, Michael Jordan, who needed 3 years at college before he went to the NBA. It's how it used to be
You know who
done.
really
why
was the
can't
GOAT?
why
LeBron
can't
James,
that
who didn't need
why
no
can't
comment.
that
He didn't go.
continue? Why can't that continue now? Why is it that all of a sudden, if they
No.
go to college and they develop for 3 years and then they go into the NBA, that they're no good? You're
Go-
trash.
go A and B
Because-
didn't
because
go to-
all of us
didn't
have
go to
always thought
college.
if someone needed 3 years of college or 4 years of college, they weren't good. Don't try to change that narrative after 30 years.
I've never thought
Yes, you
that.
have. Stop it. We have had discussions. Oh, this is his 3rd year in college. He's trash. Every one of us has thought that. Every single one of us has thought that.
I've never
can't-
said that because there's so many people in the NBA that are 3-year players, especially Tar Heels.
How many are really, really good
Vince,
though?
That's
Vince
what,
Carter,
Yeah.
3-year player. Antoine Jameson, 3-year player. As I said, Michael Jordan.
All right, but Vince
3-year
Carter's
player.
been in the league for 20 years now.
Okay.
Like, let's talk recent players. Like, how many really good 3 and 4 year players? How many players are in the NBA right now that are all
Wayne Ellington
stars?
was just in the
that have
three-point
played 3 or
contest.
4 years.
Wayne Ellington was just in the
Wayne
three-point
Ellington
contest.
is an
Wayne.
okay role player. It's, like,
Kyle,
how many years?
Don't make me hate on Wayne.
Your
right
boy
now.
Hold on a minute,
Wayne.
I'm just asking a question. How many years has he played in the NBA? Just because he's
since
not a
2009.
superstar doesn't mean that he didn't go to school, develop for 3 years, and become a solid NBA player like Danny Green.
Danny Green.
I'll
developed more
take
in the
Danny
league.
Green.
Aw.
No, Danny Green was always, even in college, he was like the do everything type guy. Like, he was really good.
No,
It just,
yeah, no, he was good in college, but when he went to the league, he didn't play the first few years, and then he found his role on the Spurs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you think kids out of high school are going to be able to stick around for 4 or 5 or 6 years failing, and then all of a sudden burst onto the scene?
I think if you have the proper support system with the G League and the NBA coaches,
That ain't going to happen. Stop it, son.
Why
This is
wouldn't
now a
it?
business. This is not a support system.
Kyle,
But
that's
that's
what the
the whole
article,
goal
that's
here,
what
isn't
the
it?
article talked about.
But and
They
that's what
have
I'm saying. You're dealing with 18 to 21-year-olds. You have to have a support system for them. But if they're going straight to the G League, this shit is a league.
No,
It
it
is
literally said in
business.
the article that they will set up a support system.
I don't care what they said. I don't care.
Oh,
what
so
that
let's
shit
not
said.
talk about it at all.
I mean,
I don't care.
Jesus
Son, that is a
Christ.
PR. That's a PR
Okay.
ploy. That's all that
but
is.
that's fine though. Like you gotta let the kids fail. Then like that's on them at that point.
All right, but that
Like,
then
give
you're
them the
getting
chance,
into-
you
but
know?
then you're getting into kids are going to go
Yeah.
to straight out of high school. They're going to fail, and it would be better for them to go to college anyway.
Not necessarily. There's plenty
Because the end result of this is not going to be that college kids aren't going to get paid. It's going to be done with, and they're going to be getting paid.
Yeah,
it just
but-
may not be as much as the G League.
Look at a guy like Michael Beasley, son. Did awesome his first year in college. Was the second pick in the draft. Couldn't cut it in the NBA. Ended up playing overseas, and now he's finally like sticking around with the team here and there. Like, dudes are still gonna come out regardless of the system and not make it in the league. There's nothing you can do about that.
So what if he had stuck around for 3 years, been in college for 3 and developed?
He
Now all of a
probably
sudden
would have
he's a
failed the
good
drug
player
test
right
and
away.
got kicked out.
Well, that is a very good possibility.
Wouldn't have got paid.
Yeah, right. Like he just would have got kicked out.
He'd have been the same guy he is now with no money.
Yeah, he would exactly. He would have been in the same situation. Like, if this is basketball. Like, if you have the talent and the work ethic to get to the league, you'll get to the league no matter how it takes you to get there. Like, you know, you don't have to. There doesn't have to be a set way to do it. Like, it's a freaking kids game. You know, if you're that
Yeah.
good, you'll get there. As long as you're not, failing drug tests and doing all this other stuff off the court.
Yeah, I agree with you. Here's the biggest reason that the NCAA won't get hurt by it. They make too much damn money to let that happen.
Well, from a rating and monetary standpoint, I don't think that's what like Rich meant. Like they're gonna make their money off the tournament. Half the people going crazy over March Madness don't even watch the games.
But if they're throwing a shit product out there, as Rich puts it, they're not going to draw in the people anymore, and they're not going to allow that to happen. They're going to still get the top talent they need to.
Yeah, but they're all gonna
That's
have
why
their
the top talent
college,
go to school when
their
they get paid.
collegiate
Because like I
fans
said, they're going
following
to end
that
up paying
shit.
them in school.
Well, then that
Sorry,
shit will be
go
even
ahead.
more.
No, I said
obvious.
every college is gonna have its fucking alma maters following that shit, and it'll be just
Exactly.
enough times 64 teams that it'll generate a profit.
Yeah.
And then all the office pools and shit, like people will just do it, like you said, Strong,
But
just,
also,
just to do it for
remember-
bullshit.
We grew up with the NCAA tournament being fly. You take away those top talents from those teams, it'll get lesser and lesser with these kids growing up.
But the top talent from those teams were going. They were going to the NBA. And
They
the
weren't.
NCAA was still
There's been
fly.
44 people drafted out of high school, Kyle. 44.
Okay, and most of them went in the 90s and 2000s when we're talking about late 90s,
The
early
first
2000s.
one was KG since the 70s and 95. Then it was Kobe.
Moses Malone.
Yeah. Late 90s to early 2000s. They
You know
all
what?
were going there when the one and done rule wasn't in existence, and that's when the NCAA was filthy.
Because the majority of them still had to go. You still had Ray Allen versus Allen Iverson, Georgetown, and UConn. You still had...
Ray, I mean, listen, I can't sit here and tell you that I know that Ray Allen was some stud recruit that they said, you know what, this kid 1 year and he can go straight to the league. If that were nowadays, I have no idea what the hell his recruiting stuff was, but I'm going to guess his scrawny little ass out of high school was not thought of that way. He didn't burst onto the scene in college until he was a junior and won a national title.
Yeah, so he could have went to the G League and developed for 3 years and got
feel
paid
like we
in
need
that
to
time.
research
But did
that.
did they look at him coming out of high school and went, you know what, this dude's going to be one of the best shooters ever? I don't think that's how they looked at him at all. I thought they looked at him as an undersized kid who's got a lot of work to do if he wants to make it. But like McCoy said, in this sport, if you put in the work, you can make it. Well, guess what? Ray Allen puts in the work as much as anybody.
I don't even know what we're talking about right now. Like, what do you, like...
It's not going to hurt the game because players are still going to develop because not everybody right out of high school is looked at as a stud. Some of those kids have to go to college for a couple of years for that to come out of
But
them.
now they don't have to. They can go to the league and get paid and develop under
So
NBA
you think
coaches.
just
Fuck Roy
so it's just
Williams
no
if I
more
can
college
go hang out
basketball
with
then?
Greg Popovich.
Everybody that wants to go out of high school can go?
Huh?
Every single kid that wants to go to the G League out of high school can go.
If they're-
Every
if-
single one
If
of
they're
them.
good enough.
I mean, they need
Well,
to weigh
where's the
that
line
themselves,
of
I guess.
where's the line of they're good enough then, Rich?
That's on the NBA scouts and that's on
And how many of them are allowed to get picked? Like you're taking one per
No,
team
you
every
can take
year?
as many as you want.
Okay, so that's where we're getting at. Is these teams are just going to start throwing money at kids that they have no freaking idea if they're going to be good or I don't think they're going to.
Kwame Brown went number
They
one.
do
bro.
that every
Like,
year
of
in the
course they're
NBA
gonna.
draft, Kyle.
But Kwame Brown was a top pick, though. Like he was the top recruit. Everybody thought he was the
But
stud.
he shouldn't
I'm
have
talking
been.
about the kids. I'm talking about the kids that aren't looked at that way. Go to college, and 2 years later, all of a sudden
You're
they blossom,
always gonna
and
have
they are
kids
that stud.
that are going to have to develop and are
The
aren't
Michael
gonna,
Beasleys that needed to go overseas and develop. If he'd done that in college, could have just gone straight to the NBA that way
and
instead
if
of a one
he
and done.
went to the G League and got paid for 3 years and had NBA guiding him.
Yes, I get what you're saying. Those top kids, but what about the ones that are not
I
the top
don't
kids
care
that are
about
not
those
going?
kids.
That's who helps the NCAA, though, and that's what you're missing. The NCAA won't be hurt
So-
because those kids are still going to be in college, and they're
So-
still going to be good.
So every 3 years there'll be some good teams. Cool. In the meantime, that shit's
No,
gonna be
every
trash.
year because every year there will be good teams.
And you're
because
missing the
every year
point-
there's a new class of seniors and there's a new class of juniors that come in.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
but
you're-
like what Rich is saying is when you have dudes like Kevin Durant, like Carmelo Anthony's here, like those guys make the game more exciting to watch because it does. Like,
I understand that, but the overall team game in college is so much better to watch than one random dude on their team just go out there and run around and do what he wants.
Fuck no, I got bought in by fucking Carmelo running shit at Syracuse that one year.
Yeah,
He
your
did
boys.
everything on there. That was awesome.
And what I'm saying is if you take off the top talent, you're already starting at a lower level than you already are.
yeah, your talent pool's already diminished. Like you're
Exactly.
missing the best guys there. Like,
So
you
take-
know, you want to see those guys.
All right.
Take the
Look
30
at-
best
look at
NBA
this
players
aspect.
out of the NBA.
I don't think you're seeing it the same way I am. Is what percentage of all of those kids that do go to the G League are going to work out? Just
Probably-
throw out a number that you think would happen.
I don't know. Like, we'll say I'll go low. Probably like 5%, 10%.
All right. How many percent of the kids that go to college are going to work out?
Less because there's a
So
lot more
different.
schools.
That's so skewed.
Hold on. No. Just answer
That's
the question.
so skewed.
What do you mean?
Just answer the question real
Work out how? Like good in college or make it?
They're
going to
go to the NBA and they're going to have a good, solid career, just the same way you measured that an 18-year-old going to the G League.
30
works out.
people versus thousands. Get the fuck out of here.
Probably less. Probably like 5%.
Okay, so 5% and 5%. How is this going to be any different talent-wise then? Because what
Because
you're
you're
actually
taking
getting
the
at,
best of the best out of the talent pool.
but the best of the best isn't going to be the best of the best by the time they're their third year, which is when in college is when you see them on the court and they're the ones playing.
So you're
Because
saying
back in the day when you had recruiting classes like that, you had to have freshmen sit. That's why guys like Michael weren't allowed to get a picture taken with the upperclassmen because they weren't viewed as kids that played. You have to develop, and then by the time you're a junior, now you're ready to go. And that talent level that's out there on the court is that.
Yeah, but see, the stupid thing about that is there's kids that should be playing immediately at that age too. Like,
There are the rare
you're gonna
few-
sit
those-
Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant a year,
Nope.
like.
There are those rare
Right.
few, and you're just going to lose those to the G League. That's it. Just the rare few. That's what I'm trying to get at.
That's not what's gonna happen though.
Yes, it
Like-
is. Like the rare few that are actually going to go to the NBA and succeed right out of high school are the ones that we're not going to see in college. That's it. Just those rare ones. Because the other ones that go and fail probably would have failed in college too.
that's not true. There's a lot of people who have that.
Oh, son, there are so many recruits that do not live up to the hype. So many of them.
Okay.
Harry Giles last year with Duke.
Wasn't he hurt though?
He's still hurt.
Like okay, like that's not
And he
his
was
fault.
still hold on,
He's
and he
had
was
mad
still
ACL
taken in the
injuries.
lottery. Like hype doesn't mean a damn thing. The kids don't work out all the time.
No,
Whether
but
there's a
that's-
rule or not, like whether the system stays the stays the same or changes, that there's going to be players like that. That's how the NBA draft always works on potential. That's how the draft works, then. Like you
Everything
pick
is
somebody
done on
that you think's
potential.
going to develop. Yeah,
I understand that.
you're not picking this guy expecting them to. I mean, if you listen to a lot of fans now, I guess they think you should, but like these kids shouldn't be coming into the league dropping 26 and 7 a game. Like that doesn't happen.
No.
Like, these kids are 19. Like, how many of them are really about to step in the NBA and be like, oh, I'm an all-star now? Like, it's all about a process, man. Trust the process. dumbass NCAA.
That's right.
It's like I
It's gonna be
like
bad.
I can't watch, man. I can't watch. Like I don't like watching teams that aren't UNC already in college basketball. Like unless there's a like really stud player on them, I don't want to see them. Like,
Well, that stud player ain't gonna be there.
Exactly. It's gonna be in the G League.
but at least I know we can win without him.
And if the
Just
NBA
hanging more
does it
banners
right,
at Chapel Hill.
right? If the NBA does this right, and they get all these top recruits, and it doesn't exclude them from taking a guy out of high school who they're like, hey, this guy's gonna have to be here for a few years, and we're gonna have to develop him just like a college would. Like that doesn't stop them from doing that. And then if the NBA does it right, and on my NBA app, I can go to G League games and watch the Lakers G League team, and I can be like, oh, this cat's fly. I hope the Lakers call him up, just like minor league baseball. Like, people will get sucked into that, and bye-bye, NCAA, no one gives a fuck about you. Because I can watch a guy
No,
who
well,
goes directly
but
to
that's
my
where you're-
team.
Bunch of
that's
They
where you're
sign.
wrong,
dentists.
though.
Bunch of dentists
that's-
balling.
That's where you're
Bunch
wrong.
of dentists.
Not bye-bye, Rich. Not bye-bye NCAA. Nobody gives a fuck about you because a whole lot of people give a fuck about it because it's college basketball. That's never going to go away.
It will if the top talent goes away.
But the NCAA is not going to allow that. They make too much money off of it, is what I'm trying to get
How
to
are they
here.
going to stop the NBA from doing what they want?
They just start paying these kids when they go to college.
So they could do that now. So now they're going to do it?
So what's the difference?
Hold on. If you take the money away from the rich people, you think that they're going to try and let you just do it? Or they're going to try and change it?
They're gonna own the G League teams, man.
No, because they have to be colleges still.
Yeah, exactly. The NBA doesn't have that. They're a business. They don't have to be
Okay.
shit but what they are. So they can just pay these people, and then they can give them endorsements, and then they can put them on the TV. You can have, instead of Big Ten ACC Challenge, you can have the G League West versus G League East Challenge.
I just don't think that they can do that.
And you know what will be fly about that? The Bulls, right? The Bulls aren't good right now. But you know how you keep up on recruiting and stuff, McCoy? It would be like that. You could be like, oh, the Bulls are about to sign this kid out of high school. He's going to play his first game tonight against the Lakers, who signed this 17,
Yeah,
18-year-old
we're about to light the Lakers
out
up.
of high school, and we're going to watch
Fuck
it.
UNC. Your minor league
Yo,
Bulls team
here's-
will be your favorite
Here's
team
a
ever.
huge problem with this,
The
though.
Windy City Bulls.
If they
South
do
Bay
that,
The
Lakers.
Cavs.
if they do that, it literally opens Pandora's box.
For what?
Because look at how they do it with soccer. McCoy, you follow European soccer a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
early do they start signing kids while they're in middle school?
Yeah. Well, they have
Middle
like,
school.
Yeah.
You
Don't-
open Pandora's box that the NBA can now just offer kids money right out of high school. Why can't they offer it to them in high school?
Man,
Colleges
Who's
already
stopping them from
offer
doing that?
recruits to
You
like
can't,
10-year-olds though.
Yeah, they offer. Kentucky offers scholarships to kids in middle school now. Like,
No, they don't. No, they don't. There's limits on it. You're not allowed to offer a kid
Haven't we
until
seen
they're a
that a bunch of
sophomore in high
times?
school anymore.
like didn't Coach
Yeah,
Cal?
Yes,
like,
we
give
have.
us
USC
kids-
signed a quarterback.
I know,
that was
I've
like
seen
12.
it.
Football,
This ain't
football and
fucking Santa
basketball have
Claus.
different rules. I don't know what they are for football, but with basketball, there are rules. You're not allowed to be offered until you're a certain age or a certain class. So you can't be offered when you're in middle school.
So you can do that. They can't legally sign a contract till they're 18 anyway. Kobe's parents had to sign.
How is
his
it? How do they
contract.
get through? How do they get them done with
Really?
the European leagues? Do you know, McCoy?
Well, in the soccer, but they have like youth clubs. Like they'll have like the Barcelona U15 squad and stuff like that, and then they like retain the rights to the kids. But
Well-
soccer is crazy with like the transfers and
Well, they said
everything.
that
Like,
they would use USA Basketball and stuff too to like help the
Yep.
kids.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that I would love for them to do. Like develop USA basketball at the youth levels better.
Well, yeah, they said they could do that, and then it would be the next level and the next level, and next thing you know, like the kids.
I
are
mean,
in
but
G
they
League.
do that. They do that in most sports. I think basketball is one of the only ones that they don't do it in, at least not properly.
I don't know. I don't really think there's like a perfect way to fix it. Like,
Oh, there isn't.
college basketball is still gonna cheat regardless, and I don't think
Even
the
if they're getting
NBA.
paid, they're still going to find a way to cheat. because you
Yeah, and
need
I
to
don't
get
think
that
the
upper hand
NBA
on
is
somebody.
really gonna be like all in and.
Oh, that's
I mean,
weird.
NBA is usually good about the stuff like this, but I just don't think, you know, like you've been saying, Rich, they have a free model as it is right now. Like, why should they really put a ton of money into making it a perfect system, you know?
Yeah, they said it's helped. Out,
They're going to do what's best for them.
They said it's helped out like LeBron, and people have come out and been like, "This is like a waste of time." with
Yeah.
NCAA. And like even Obama
Yeah, right.
said something about that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it'd be dope
See?
if like because I would totally and like being like a part of like the NBA, like watching as much basketball as I do, and I know like McCoy sees it a lot. Like people are obsessed with this fucking sport now. So,
Because it's
like,
awesome.
If you don't think that like people would pay attention to their minor league clubs if they were like they would college teams recruiting and stuff, like you're bugging.
Yeah. You can make it really cool. Like, I don't know. I'm just not confident that anything's gonna change to make it like what it should be. But I guess anything's better than what we have now. Just like the joke of the NCAA system. So we'll
Yeah, I
see
mean,
what happens.
You just gotta pay the people.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it starts with. Like, stop extorting the kids and making money off them and not letting them get their hands in it. Like, they gotta
ain't
do
breaking
something
the law.
about that.
Leave them alone.
No. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. Like, let them get paid to play basketball and everybody
These-
else is.
Young ass idiot fools I be seeing rapping, making all this money. These young kids playing ball, going to college can make a little bit of that. I think it'll be okay.
Seriously. Speaking of the Bulls, they're down 78-44 right now to the Celtics.
Oh, they're about to come
Away,
back,
boys. Tank away.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's so many teams tanking though. We're gonna end up in what was the mock draft you saw? We're in 8th right now.
man. I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, that was.
Well, the good news,
I can
the
refresh.
good news on the Tankathon is the Spurs are only up 2 on the Grizzlies, so hopefully the Grizzlies can somehow pull that one off.
Let's
then-
go, Mark.
We play the Grizzlies 2 out of our next 5 games, so we need to tank strong in those ones.
Yeah,
So
Randy
right now
Gordon's
you're
the
at-
number 1 pick.
Yeah, no, so if we take 2 losses to them, that'll be huge.
Who's at number 1 right now?
Memphis.
Memphis is the worst team in the league. And they're only 3.5 games up on us, so
So many teams that have just given up.
yeah, it's annoying. Like, I don't care. Like, normally, like, when we weren't in this, whatever, like, I get it. But, like, it just ruins me watching. Like, it just kills my excitement of watching the games when my team, like, wants to lose. And
You think there's a
sucks.
fix to that?
No.
Um,
If you have a draft lottery and the worst
Yeah.
team gets the best chance at the number 1 pick, teams are going to tank.
What's the new one that they have next year?
it like
The new format?
it just spreads it out more, so that more teams are eligible. Like there's a better chance of other teams getting the number 1 pick.
But like your percentages go down, even as like
Yeah.
the top
Yeah.
pick. So it doesn't make it as valuable.
It's like the number 1 team doesn't get, like, 25% chance to get it anymore. Just everything dropped a bit. So it's more spread out throughout all the teams, but there's
Well, I mean,
stuff.
hopefully that will at least stop teams from tanking as much as they have and be like, you know what, let's play some young kids and we suck. If we win a couple of games along the way, cool.
Well, it's not, because Mark Cuban straight came out and said we need to lose as much as possible. The Bulls
that's
are
this
playing
year.
Felicio. Man, that's been the last couple of years. The Bulls are playing Felicio intentionally, who was a
I'm
minus
talking
62
about
the
with the new
last 3
format
games.
next year, dude.
It's still going to be the same thing. That's not going to change.
What if they gave everybody from 9 to last place an even shot? Did you see that? Someone proposed that.
Yeah,
I
I
was
did see that before.
it was
Yeah,
on ESPN, I think.
I wouldn't mind that, but teams are still going to lose as much as possible, you know?
For
But
what
at that
though?
point, why?
Because you want to make sure you get in that 9. Like, the top
I think
what?
you can. I think you could pretty easily be in the bottom 9 and not have to lose
From
every game.
the 9th seed all the way to the last place. So anybody that's just out of the playoffs
Doesn't make the playoffs, right?
all has an equal shot. I mean,
Yeah, but teams are still gonna tank, and so in a form of let's make sure we don't win too much. Like, I mean, I guess once you're not in, it doesn't matter. But I
Oh,
don't
so you
know.
mean like when I just said they'll play young kids, and if they win a couple of games along the way, cool.
Well, the problem
they do that already? So what's the difference? You know,
the problem
I
with
mean,
that
what's the
will be as soon as a team that people already think is kind of good or on the verge gets number 1 pick and gets to stack it up again, like people are gonna be pissed.
Yep.
Like
Like the
Oh, you
Pelicans
mean-
this year would just be like, hey, let's
I
shut
just
down
had that same thought.
Davis. Yep. Let's shut down AD because there's no point in us getting the 8th seed to get blown out by the Warriors. So let's just get the number 1 pick now. Like,
yeah,
that
right?
kind of thing, right?
Right now, the
Like,
8th seed in the West would be the worst.
Yeah.
Yo,
what's
I'm
the
a-
point?
Yeah.
The 7th
all-
seed
and
too.
the 7th seed.
Yeah. What's the
I'm
point
all
of
for it because
being-
McCoy, you know that the Bulls will get that. We'll get that pick.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying in general. I know we have their pick, so I'm cool with them not making the playoffs this year. But just like as a if they had their pick kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need to not make the playoffs so we get that pick.
I hope so. I
Number
want them to
one,
do as bad as they can so we can have as good of a pick as we can get.
it's gonna be now. We're gonna have the first and the fourth pick. We're gonna make the Browns out here.
So you have the Pelicans pick?
Yeah, because we
Yep.
traded him
Nico.
swindled them good.
Speaking of the Browns and
Well,
the
the
number one and
Pelicans
the
are the
number four
fourth
pick.
seed right now.
The what seed?
The Pelicans are the fourth seed, but they're only a game and a half out of eighth. And Anthony Davis has been playing out of his mind, so I mean, at some point they gotta relax a
hurt.
little bit.
Yo,
He'll
the
get
West is nuts,
Hopefully.
man. Seeds 4 through 8 or almost 3 through 8 are all like what? Like
3 through 8, it's they're 12. The Portland's 12 and a half games back at the third seed, and Denver's 14 and a half at eighth.
damn 2
Houston,
games.
Golden State, and everybody else.
2 games separate all those teams. That's going to be a wild finish.
Yeah.
Kev, since he brought up the Browns and the number 1 and 4 pick, did you hear the latest of what they may do?
I heard,
Especially with the number 1 pick?
I heard Saquon at number 1.
Yeah.
Lock
Saquon
down.
Barkley, number 1,
Lock
and then they'll
down.
take a quarterback at 4, whoever's kind of
Yeah,
left.
so they don't have to make the decision. That shit
Yeah.
they get the
That's
easy
smart.
way. But that Saquon put up crazy numbers in the combine.
He did. You know he was a Jets fan growing up?
Yeah, I saw that. He used to watch Curtis Martin as a
He
kid.
used to bleed green, he said.
Yeah, I don't like this guy now. Didn't he go to Penn State?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, you know where he went? He went to Penn State. It's Rich's boy.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, is
Yeah.
everyone from Penn State my boy? Is that how that works now?
Yes.
Okay.
Straub, this thing just came up on my phone.
Joe,
that,
they were Joe Pa's boys, so they're your boy.
Even now?
This thing just came up on my phone, man.
Joe Pa forever, so
Okay.
got a movie coming out.
Yeah, I got it. I just wanted to know.
You better get that movie on Blu-ray.
He's got opening day tickets.
Yo, is it a movie or a show on HBO?
I'm
I thought
playing,
it was a movie.
I'm playing one of the kids.
Blowing the whistle.
Red flag.
Kev, what came up on your phone?
Yeah, that's funny shit, man. Oh, they said an anonymous team hit up the Eagles for a second round pick for Foles.
I'd be cool with that.
And
Jets.
they said all these people think it's the Jets, thinking that Cousins is going to the Vikings.
I was going to say, I've heard a lot of stuff earlier today that the choice for Cousins is essentially, do you want to win or do you want to get paid? And he's leaning towards, I want to win, which is the Vikings.
Yeah, he narrowed it down to 4, and then to 2, and it was just us and the Vikings. But I don't. Why would you do
I'm
that?
cool with that. I don't want to give him a 4-year, $90
Nah.
million damn contract.
Wait, weren't you all about him the other day?
Changing
No,
the
not at
game,
all.
son.
I was just convincing Rich that the Jets were going to try and do some stupid shit. I didn't
okay.
want them to do it. They just would.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's some of the reports that I heard was a 4-year, $90 million contract, 3 years, $70+ million guaranteed. Like, God damn it, guys, what are you doing?
Well, 4-year, $90 million. What's he making?
What does it matter though? Someone's gonna get that money.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather it
Quarterback.
not be Kirk Cousins. I just don't
Just
like.
hating on Kirk.
Yep.
Can't get paid, Kirk.
I'll take Nick Foles for a second rounder on that cheap ass contract.
We have 2
Nick Foles
second
good.
rounders too, so
I think Nick Foles is a system quarterback that can manage a game. So no.
Okay. As long as we agree. Who was
I mean,
like
he
this
did
stuff?
drop
actually-
some dimes in the Super Bowl though.
Yeah. Yeah,
What'd you say,
those
Rich?
last 2 games, he killed it.
Who was the stud in the combine? I saw the combine stuff. Was there anyone that
The
was
dude with one
So number
hand.
2.
Guy with one hand, yeah,
Saquon,
Griffin.
We were
Saquon
talking about
Barkley,
this
who we
the
were
other
just
night.
talking about. And then, the
Shaquem
linebacker
Griffin
from
or
UCF.
whatever, right?
Yeah, he
He did,
rapped
so-
225, 25 times?
20 times with one hand, and then he ran the fastest
He had a
40
first
time
take.
for a
He did one
linebacker.
hand.
No,
Yeah,
he
let
did it
him
with
know.
one hand. I mean, there was that thing that was on the
The
bar,
hold the
but
bar, yeah.
he only has one hand.
He's got 2 arms.
He does, yep,
Okay.
but one hand.
He's a
Something
beast,
so-
man.
he was cheating, honestly.
Listen,
okay.
man, life cheated him, so.
Yeah.
Did he cheat? Did he
He's got
cheat
it.
when he ran a 4.3840?
No, that's legit.
4.38.
Yeah,
Four
dude.
three eight, son. The only person that ran one faster than him at the weight that he is Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson, yeah.
He's the only one that beat him.
He was overrated, honestly.
Oh yeah,
What he ever
Megatron
win?
was a bum.
He's on the Lions, son.
But the funny thing is about that, and this just kind of proves how stupid the combine is, though. That kid was barely wasn't even invited to the combine. Was projected to maybe be a 5th round pick. He goes out there and does that, and now they're saying he's a 2nd rounder.
Who? The guy with one hand?
Well,
Yep.
he has one hand, so I see why he would be a 5th round pick.
JPP's out there with one hand balling, son.
He has half a hand.
It's closer to.
So I guess
it's
he
closer
has
to
a
this
leg up
guy.
on this guy.
They each got a nub, son. At the end
No,
of the day,
JPP's got like a finger and a half, doesn't
He
he?
got the Ninja Turtle hand.
all right.
Yeah,
He's
right?
got like the
He can
he's got
scratch
the
his
claw,
back. Good for
penguin
him.
claw.
That's a valuable thing to have, Kev. Everyone needs a good back scratcher.
Well, he's got one other hand.
He said he's got the claw.
I saw the highlights of this kid. I would take him on my team. He could ball, son.
Right? Like, I don't care. Like, if he can play.
He made interceptions, so I seen it.
Well, my thought when I saw all that and I heard them talking about him, why not move him to safety?
Because he doesn't have a hand. He can't.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want
What's he
to.
play, linebacker?
Call that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a linebacker.
Why don't you make him a wide receiver?
Hands like a snake.
Is he like undersized at linebacker?
He's underhand.
Under.
Yeah, so that's literally it.
Leah asked me
His-
what his dominant hand was.
His-
I said the only.
His strong
I said
hand.
the only one he's got.
Let me use my strong hand.
Terrible people.
Messed up.
She was like, is he right or left-handed? And I was like, I don't know.
Does he have a
the
choice?
only one he had.
Whichever one he's got.
His twin brother didn't graduate, left school a year early, and is a defensive back for Seattle, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, they ran like the same 40 time too. I saw.
He beat him because he was talking trash to him on
Oh, really?
ESPN about it. Yeah. They asked him about it, and he said, "Yeah, I hope he's watching this so he knows."
That's awesome.
Anyone else in the combine?
That's all I
That's
saw.
literally all I
like,
heard about it. I didn't watch anything or seek anything out about it.
I saw some highly touted offensive lineman went up there, and he only benched it the reps 9 times. People were
9.
people were clowning on him.
Justifiably so.
And he's supposed to be like a mammoth of a man too, like just a shadow. Like
Yeah, 9.
He only put it up. I guess he has really, really, really long arms. So they said something about him having crazy long arms killed him in the bench press. But come on, man, 9 times. And you're just supposed to be like a brolic ass offensive lineman.
Wasn't his day.
They really had Rich Eisen running down the field like during the combine like that.
I think he does it every year.
That was an actual thing. Like somebody was like, "Yeah, Rich Eisen can run while I do my combine 40."
No, they do it every year.
Oh, really?
At the end of the combine, he does a 40.
Yeah, and then
Or
they superimposed Saquon on there running by him like that.
Toasting
And-
him.
And he's like, "Oh, they superimposed it. Okay." That's like say he can't at least get shorts on. Like he's got to be out here in the suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what he.
Fun.
That's how he works, man.
You can't see Tom out there in the cargo pants. They're the cargo shorts.
They said that quarterback from Wyoming, Allen, had all the scouts said he's had the strongest arm at a combine since Jamarcus Russell. So I hope that works
That
out
bodes
real
well
good
for
for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want them to say that.
Woo!
He did
Somebody
make
said
a,
he could-
Standard, though.
The
Yeah.
highest of praise.
he made a sick ass throw in the combine to Calvin Ridley. Who ran like some go route. Oh no, that wasn't even him. That was a guy from UCLA. Hit him in stride. It was so sick. But that wasn't Allen, the guy with the strong arm.
Didn't they say Allen can throw like 90 yards?
That's a fucking long ways, dude.
Yeah. It's like
But why
pretty
are we
much the whole
measuring
kid.
that? Like, when in the fucking hell is that ever going to come into a game? Like, hey,
Hail
we need you to throw
Marys,
this
man.
Hail
90
Mary
yarder
at the
right
end of the
now.
game. What do you mean,
Because
son?
that happens so often that it works out well.
It happens often enough.
The Jets
You need a
couldn't
last
even,
second
the
Hail
Jets
Stop
couldn't
Mary.
even
it.
throw Hail
Stop
Marys
it.
with Chad Pennington.
Bro, the Super Bowl, son, the
Gotta
Super
get to, like,
Bowl
the
ended on a
30.
Hail Mary. What are you talking about?
Was it successful? Is it a play you're calling?
Aaron
But
Rodgers
if
has thrown
they
a
had the
shit
ball
ton
at the
of
10 and had to throw 90 yards, there you go. We're in the end zone.
I'm telling you what, if you're sitting in your goddamn war room, as they call him, and you're drafting somebody because he can throw the ball 90 yards, and you may need him to throw that Hail Mary at the end of a Super Bowl, you're looking at the
Well,
wrong
that's not
shit,
going to
man.
be the only one, the only
Well,
reason, dude.
I
But
think
that's
we
the
agree with
deciding
you.
factor. Like, that shouldn't even
Who
fucking
said-
factor
If it tips
into
the
it at all.
scales, if it tips the scales,
Can he
just said
throw?
it was-
Can he throw all the routes? Is the only thing I need to know. If he can throw the ball 40 yards, then we're good.
40 yards, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
can win
even
with
like
40.
questioning
The fuck
anything
outta
else you
here.
can do. I just don't get how you can say that the Hail Mary is not important. Like that
It's
play
not
happens all the
important.
time.
My
Oh,
quarterback better be able to throw more than 40 yards. Fuck
Not
him.
even like
You had a quarterback that couldn't throw more than 40
Yeah,
yards.
exactly.
Yeah,
I don't
the
want that
quarterback couldn't
again.
throw 40 yards.
Mark
He
Sanchez
not
could
make
barely
40.
throw
I watched
40
it
yards.
in person. It floated, fluttered, and landed at like 32.
Your boy.
Threw that
Your
shit like a
boy.
punt.
Yeah.
Throwing
Yes,
punts.
It looked, like
Wobbling
one
out
of
of
those,
there.
it looked like one of those flat punts that
Like
just
you-
go up and come
You
back
used to-
down.
when you used to throw it off and two-hand touch before the school bus came. There's Chad
It's lucky
Pennington.
he had Randy out there in college.
Fuck yeah.
did Kyle just say arm strength wasn't important?
No.
Pretty much.
No, I didn't at all. How the fuck do you take that Hail
40
Mary is not
yards.
important
You said-
and get arm strength isn't important?
Because
You said
don't care
all
how
you
far
need
he
is a
can throw the
quarterback
ball.
to throw
Yeah, you
40
can
No,
Yeah,
I
yards.
said I
dismissed
don't
it.
give a fuck that he can throw the ball 90 yards. I do not give a shit about that.
40 yards is
Can
what
he
I
make
heard.
all the throws in a fucking tree?
Well, that takes
Then we're
it.
good.
You got to
Tree
throw it more than
climbing
40
son of a
yards,
bitch.
man. Yeah. You freak.
In a tree.
That's funny.
Do we know what the tree route is, or is that just something we've heard on TV a lot, so we say it? Like, what's the routes in the tree route, Kyle?
I mean, 1 through 9 I know, but they
what the
got
fuck
so
is
many
no,
more.
Tell me what 1 through 9 is. I don't know what 1 through 9
All right, fine. I mean, obviously 9 is your go route,
You know,
just a
I know
straight.
that. I know that.
Odds are onto the inside and evens are to the outside. Your
No, give me 8,
is gonna
7,
be-
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I just
Tell
said
me.
odds are going to be to the inside. Hold on, so I don't have to repeat myself. Odds are to the
Yeah.
inside and evens are to the outside.
So-
So your 8, which is the same thing as a 7, is a fucking slant route.
No,
I
it's
don't know
not.
that. Right, Kevin?
Yes,
An
it
8,
is.
an 8 is a
Said no,
post and a 7 is a corner.
Sorry, I
9
used
is
the
a
wrong
fade,
fucking
a
terminology.
6 is a
but yes,
dig, a
it's
5
the
is
same
an
goddamn
out.
thing. You're running
Yeah.
on a slanted
Corner, I'm
angle,
running
you
two
son of a
different
bitch.
things. Right?
No, well, corner, yes. I didn't say a slant. I mean, I didn't say a corner. I said a slant.
9 all day, homie.
But in the NFL, they've got a shit
9
ton of them.
9 is straight cash, homie. That's all you need
Straight
to know.
cash. homie.
Straight cash.
Hall of Fame career off number 9.
It really was.
Didn't matter
ballot.
who's quarterback until and then it really got nasty when he got the best one ever.
That wasn't even fair.
I'm glad that only lasted, what was it, 2 years?
That one was enough.
It was
Hold on,
yeah,
hold on.
it was
Revis
one.
the best one ever?
Huh?
No, I was talking
No, I
about
think he's
Randy
talking about
the
and
quarterback.
Tom
Tom,
Brady.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, having
Oh,
the
all
best
right.
ever.
No,
I'm half listening.
He
I
was
would never
making Hall of
I would
Famers
never
out of everybody
disrespect
else.
Deion Sanders. That's the best one ever.
That's why it was shocking coming from you, Kev.
No.
But yeah, Randy was there 2 years, right?
3?
2.5 because he got traded to Minnesota. Like
Didn't he get
half-
traded for like a 4th round pick too?
Bill was done with him.
Yeah.
No, I mean to New England, son.
Yeah,
Oh, when they got him?
They
From
probably
Oakland.
traded him for
They
at
got
least a
him.
second.
They got him from Oakland, though, didn't they?
yeah, for a 4th rounder. I remember
See, now,
seeing it too
Al
because
Davis.
it was on draft day, and I remember seeing it like, fuck, because he wasn't good for like that last like. I mean, he was okay, but in Oakland, he didn't really do shit.
He didn't
He
care.
didn't
anymore.
care.
was
Yeah,
so
he
unmotivated,
just walked
so
in the
I was
locker room
like-
in the one game.
I was
Speaking
like,
of awesome owners like Al Davis, Jerry getting sued by the NFL. He actually has a case. Did you guys see this?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, but isn't it for like $2 million?
It's for more than $2 million
okay.
that they're trying to get back from him. But he actually has a case that he's going to take him to court on, and they think that he can win.
Jerry ain't paying nobody.
I saw some article that said the NFL was taking him to court for $2 million, and I was like, why? Why is Jerry even gonna waste his time?
Like he's because it's
Principal,
Jerry.
Kev.
Yeah, absolutely. This dude's got billions of dollars, but he's not letting you take any of it.
It's like I'm about to make you spend another $2 million, but you saw what it is. It's for like court fees.
Yeah, they want retribution for what their court fees were, but I
For
guess
Zeke.
his case is he never actually filed the lawsuit. He just kind of like went through the motion of getting ready to. So any lawyer
So they're
fees that
about
they
to
had on their part aren't his fault.
So they're about to have to pay more money to take him to court to then solve this.
Pretty much,
problem.
yeah.
That's funny.
Jerry is giving him a big Texas-sized fuck you.
Of course he is.
I mean,
How
if you
pissed
were
do you
that
think
rich,
he was?
wouldn't you?
Absolutely, I'd be a
he was
vindictive
that they finally said
motherfucker.
that Dez's catch was a catch.
He had every right to be, though.
He
How pissed do you
probably
think
threw
Dez
He
was?
probably threw a party, son. Acted like they won the Super Bowl anyway then.
Dez didn't care.
How about Tony? Tony cares.
No, yeah.
No, I'm talking about Jerry.
Would have won the Super Bowl that year.
Maybe.
They probably would have, I think.
There's
Wait,
no Malcolm
who would they
Butler
play?
interception. That was
They
when
lost
when
they lost to
Marshawn.
Green Bay on that.
Yeah,
Oh, no. The Cowboys wouldn't have beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
that's when
Is that who
Marshawn
Green
didn't
Bay
get.
played?
No,
Huh?
Marshawn and the Seattle Seahawks beat Green Bay in the next game, didn't they?
Oh, so they
'Cause
would
that
have
was
to
the, I
beat
know
the
that was
Seahawks?
the
No
that was
way.
the year that the Seahawks didn't run the ball from the 1 yard line.
Yeah. Worst play ever. So bad.
Would have been cool to see Tony get one.
Nah.
Yeah, but he was a bitch.
If he wins that one, he would have won the next year too. They would have won two in a row.
Oh, so he
Oh,
was just
okay.
getting that confidence up and backing him off real quick. So?
Yeah, that's what would
You
have
see the
happened.
eye Kev gave when he said that? He's out of here, man.
But no, he got relegated to the booth, and now I think he's good. I think he's better.
He
at
got a
that
lot
than-
better throughout the year. When the first couple of games he did, he talked over him too much. But by the time he got to the playoffs, he was pretty good.
He's
I just like
a
what
rookie
he's-
again.
The shit he says, like he'll say something and then like it fucking happens, and like I don't know, he gives you a good
He
taste
breaks
of
shit
behind
down
the
pretty
scenes.
good. Yeah.
Nobody liked
Cowboys
the
quarterback.
Madden in the Wham block.
Ever, son?
Ever.
Ever? The Wham blog. Ain't nobody Madden out there. Wham blog.
All right, guys. You got anything else you want to bring up?
Not this week, man. There ain't shit going on.
Yeah. Been a long Monday. We're gonna call it quits here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. The fellas are out.